Welcome. Oh, it's not really my place to say welcome, Corey.
I mean, you can say welcome if you want, if you've got a spiel prepared.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm just passing through. I'm just washing my underpants in a water fountain. I got. I'm just here one day and gone the next. I just got some coins and tomorrow's underpants, and I'm moving on unless something makes me stick around like an arm. Hi, I'm Josh Kagan.
This is just where he is at the moment.
Exactly. It's very zen. But so this week's episode was a complete mess, and I'm kind of here for it. And at the same time, I may never sleep again.
Oh God.
And all I kind of want to do is talk about the last 10 minutes of the episode, but I know we can't just do that. What'd you guys think?
Who says we can't?
I mean, the people want to know what happened this week.
Okay.
Well, because, Hina just came across Ankh sitting there in disguise chomping on some ice cream. And they have their little confrontation where Ankh is just like, I don't know what to do with this person. Oh, I guess she's my sister. I should kill her.
I should have strangled the crap out of her.
He really thinks it through, though. Like it's a cool effect. He taps his head like, hey, everyone, up here is now where action is happening. And he's like, oh, a family member. Oh, I see how this all fits together now. Oh, you know what? Murder. And then he starts to kill her.
But she is enormously strong, like a mutant.
Yes.
And flips him over judo style and tears the hand off.
Yeah.
The ghosts of Hannah and Barbara pop out of their grave to do Foley work for this. And we hear every stupid sound effect on the stupid sound effects CD. We hear whoop, we hear boink, we hear boop. It's real goofy.
I do really wish they had like the sound of an old jalopy starting up or running down the county lane. But no, not in this case. Normally when you tear someone's hand off, the hand doesn't talk to you. So I can see why Hina would scream and then pass out after witnessing such a thing.
Yep.
Maybe.
And Ankh's still all like, we should kill her. And Eiji's like, or, counterpoint, I could drop this belt into the ocean and you'd never get any medals ever again.
My note here was that everybody needs to work on their negotiation skills. This is the stupidest impasse I have ever seen, because he's just a flying arm. He's like, oh no, you dropped in I guess I'll just fly down and get it because I'm an arm. I don't need to breathe underwater or anything. I'm a magic, but no, Ankh is just like, oh, you got me here. Checkmate, my friend.
Maybe he's just like, that seems like a lot of work for, when maybe I'll just kill her next time he turns his back. I mean, he does seem pretty peeved the rest of the episode, and he is like really trying to show that he's in charge for the rest of the app. He's not pleased by this.
I will say, in a very uneven episode, this is some of Ankh's best arm acting. When Hobo Underpants Man is like, I'm just gonna drop it in the ocean. You actually see there's no face, but you see the look, just sort of like. Okay.
Yeah. My favorite thing he does is whenever he clicks his teeth, there's an emphasis that the hand does. Just flicks the fingernails. There's those two fingernails that are green and the other fingernails are slightly different colored. So it's just extra.
I also like how Eiji totally oversells his oh no, I'm gonna drop it. And as soon as Ankh is don't, he's like, all right, do what I say. Mm-hmm. Just turns on a dime. It's nice.
Yeah, you got the sense that the actor thought that was going to be whatever the Japanese equivalent of the Emmy, when it comes time, and the nominee for Best Actor, and that is the scene that they will play.
So Ankh caves to Eiji's demands, and Eiji remembers the photo that he was texted from Hina in front of Couscousier. Couscousier.
Yes. Yep.
Couscous. I'm going to call it couscous.
I've been calling it CC in my notes. Delicious CC lemon. Mm.
Mm. And then we cut to a bunch of people staring at something, going, "What is that? A movie? We're doing a TV? Hey, wait a minute. Are we on? wait, check. Are we on Common Rider or Triple O? What happened? And it's because our old buddy, the Greeds, are just hanging out in an underpass, yelling at each other. And I think the reason why everybody's so freaked out is because they're not there with their color swatches.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I feel like if people are like, oh, wait, no, that's just well, nobody with such awesome tapestries could be evil. This probably checks out.
There's also like 15 police just all crowded around the entrance to this underpass.
Oh, yeah. It's a pretty big response.
On one hand, yes, they are monsters. On the other hand, they're just standing there, not really doing much of anything, just having a conversation.
Until the elephant man stretches out his long CG trunk and drags a car like 20 feet.
Yeah. And then jumps on it and smashes it.
Yes.
And then he gets tired because that was a lot
Wouldn't
of
you?
work. Oh, yeah.
I got tired just watching it.
He also gets shot a bunch. Like, that makes me tired.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's true.
I need to lie down after I've been shot.
He needs some cell medals. He needs his friend, the blue greed, whose name is apparently Mizuru, to give him some cell medals and perk him up.
I thought that was real nice of Mizuru. You hadn't seen the Greed really regarding each other with any affection up until this point. So it was nice to see, and everybody gets little character moments. Like, I kind of expected them the way that they've been progressing. Like, oh, you feel tired? Well, guess what? Go fuck yourself. We'll turn you into metals, and then we'll be even stronger. But they were real nice. It was like, hey, thanks. It warmed my heart. How did you two feel?
I hope you enjoy hearing the gray greed whine Mizuru, because it happens about 1,000 times over the course of the series.
Can't wait.
Well, because she's a sugar mama. She is full of cell metals, and that's what he needs just to get by. He just needs his fix, you know?
She's got him over a barrel.
Yeah.
Also, he appears to have the rough intelligence of a 5-year-old.
I mean, I don't think any of the Greed are joining Mensa anytime soon. Ankh actually seems to be the sharpest out of all of them, and he's just an arm.
And he's
ain't it always the way?
Jerk.
Yes. He's not a good I mean, look, they're all evil, but Ankh at least seems to be at least have, the cognitive reasoning of like a pissy emo 18-year-old.
Okay.
True.
I'll accept that. So then the yellow greed pops up and just like blows everybody away.
Just kills like
some sort of
10 policemen with a hurricane.
Murders everybody.
We're not pretending that this is the kind of show where like everybody gets blown backwards, but then they stand up and they're like, no, we're fine. Like those people were assuredly murdered, right?
We saw them go up and we didn't see them come down.
Murdered. Yeah.
There's a lot of implied murder.
A gentle murder. Definitely. Oh, extra murder points to that one poor schmuck that the Greed just picked up by the neck and shoved into a concrete wall so hard that the concrete broke. I thought to myself, that man's been murdered. I've witnessed a particularly brutal murder. I feel like I'm like getting shot, Corey. You don't sleep that off.
The other possibility, which would be borne out by my experience, is that in live action Japanese media, concrete is surprisingly fragile, as are buildings, and you can pretty much smash like a baby bird into one of them and it'll shatter. And the baby bird's probably okay.
The baby bird shatters, yes.
That would be weird.
So it's a commentary on Japan's infrastructure issues, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
It's problems with civic planning, contractors that maybe are saving some money for themselves and just making underpasses out of like egg cartons and things.
Breadsticks and napkins.
Top ramen, uncooked blocks of top ramen. Speaking of snacks.
Oh,
yes.
There we go.
Yeah,
well,
good segue.
Yeah, snacks. One of the Greeds, I have not committed them to memory. It'll happen eventually. One of them is just like, well, it's my turn to go put a coin in someone's head. And, but I wonder who. And then we meet Mr. Overalls.
I referred to him as Mr. Creosote in my notes.
That's incredible. Fun fact: I don't think Kamen Rider is going to win any body positivity awards.
No.
I think it is real safe to say that they drew a line in the sand, filled it with gravy, and said, "We're not crazy about fat people, especially this guy." Especially Mr. Over fucking Fat Chucky from Child's Play, Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, whatever you want to call him. This guy likes food.
There is an adult man sitting at a table just packing away food and commenting on every bite that he makes.
My note said he is eating a whole restaurant.
It's terrifying. And everybody's just staring at him. And he's just
There's all these plates.
So many God. Plates. He's dressed like a giant 5-year-old. It's terrifying. But get used to this guy's face, because we're going to see a lot of him in this episode. And then, and not to give anything away, the scenes from next week at the end, we still have to put up with this motherfucker. And I'm not here for it. Anyway, this guy's eating a lot of food. Somebody say something.
Well, the show gets tired of that. Yeah.
And ska.
1, 2, 3. We're super sorry about the fat guy.
So, and post credits. So this is hilarious because it actually ties into something that we talked about yesterday on Ghost Watch, which is AG is backpack carrying Hina unconscious into Couscousier, which Corey yesterday swore to me was not possible.
I don't understand how it works. Like, giving someone a piggyback ride is hard enough, but if their top end isn't involved, it's just like...
She's just draped on his back. It's great.
It's called acting, Adam.
You know what? You told me yesterday that this would not work, and here I see photographic evidence that it's clearly feasible.
So couscous is all done up like India.
Right. So farewell to the pirate situation, I guess. Is she sort of like Annie Potts from Pretty in Pink, if that's not too ancient of a reference for the room? Just is every week, she's like, this week I'm a pirate. This week we're going the full colonialism and appropriating the culture of India. Next week, Italiano. Like, is that basically what we're getting here?
Yeah.
There's a lot of colonialism.
Dope.
That said, I kind of love her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I call out culture really wasn't what it was, back in 2010 or 2011, whenever this was made. So
yeah.
Nobody's had the heart to say to her, like, hey, you shouldn't probably.
Even now in Japan, it probably wouldn't be a thing. I mean, cultural appropriation is a very Japanese thing to do. Let's say.
Yeah.
Pretty normal.
Yeah, they would still pull this today. Yeah. There's for a Japanese audience, this still flies.
I mean, they're still learning that blackface isn't okay.
They have not learned that yet, and
they're learning. In progress, I'd like to think.
Yeah.
My country's a dumpster fire, so I feel like I feel like that's their ish. I feel like as a United States of America American, we're still dealing with a bunch of shit. So just keep working on it, Japan. We're cool. You just do you. We're just gonna keep being a garbage fire over here. So he brings her in, and if she's completely limp, is he put her in a fireman's carry? Corey, now you have me thinking about this, even though it is very not important.
Like a fireman's carry is over the shoulder, right?
Right. Like if she's limp, then how is she even holding up? This show about monsters and coins is filled with inaccuracies.
Like it is an anime trope.
It is.
The carrying someone like a backpack, even though they're like sleepy or passed out drunk. But I've never seen a person execute that maneuver in real life successfully.
Yeah. So he drops her on the floor. Namaste, namaste. Hey, I think she works here. She's broken. Can you put a towel on her head and give her papadoms or whatever the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, so they stash her in a back room.
Yep.
Yeah.
We cut to a brief Ankh. Not unlike a fiddler, he is on the roof. Ankh does a lot of perching in this episode. He's up on roofs. Yeah. He's up in trees. He's very Peter Pan this time around. He's just enjoying some perching where people don't normally perch.
I think he likes looking down on people.
Oh, man.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Thematic.
Damn.
That's deep as hell. Yeah. Okay. You win. You win smart. He's complaining
Score.
about humans and just how humans are, always getting all uppity. And he's complaining about his hobo friend and how he's getting all uppity. And yes, this ties into Adam. What I think you were saying is that he's gonna be sticking it to our hobo underpants friend for the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
And then we're back in the restaurant.
And our hobo underpants man is leaving. He does not have a local address. He is nearby. He will take the owner up on her offer of a meal. But that is it for couscous.
Whoa, that's not...
Except that...
Whoa. Take it away, Adam.
Except that she's like, wait a second, as he leaves, and she looks at a photo she has, and there he is in the background. And she's like, nah, couldn't be.
It's like the desert or wherever. Like,
Yeah,
it's definitely
like somewhere very far away.
I just want to open the discussion now. This is the note. Is he the doctor? Like, what's happening? Like, is he?
No, he just travels a lot.
He's just really good at being a hobo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a world traveler.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's incredible.
And he is homeless, so he washes his underwear in a fountain.
He sure does.
Cut two. And Ankh is literally just standing around just like, what's great? Murder. Like, he's really...
Hold on. Ankh's in a tree.
Yes. Our underwear washing pal is, he's sort of thinking aloud like, oh, and it's a sister, and this is so weird, and I don't know what we're going to do. And Ankh's like, I know, because it's murder. That's what I said it before, and I'm going to say it again.
We cut to Mr. Creosote buying a whole conveni, aka convenience store. He's got so many bento.
But he is correct to buy the chicken. The chicken
Oh yeah, sure.
in convenience stores in Japan is to die for.
That's why it gets two.
Yes. I regret how little I ate last time I was there. I want to go again to another country around the world just to eat chicken.
He looks really excited about getting two chicken, too. He looks so happy. Like, I wish I ever looked that happy.
I will say this, before what happens to him, he doesn't seem like a bad dude. He just wants to sit around and eat just piles of snacks. And
I feel like he's wealthy.
Yeah, I literally wrote down, how is he affording this? Because he's spending a lot of money. Like, maybe his parents are rich, or maybe he's really good at whatever he does. But man, he's got some scratch.
I mean, again, I think he's straight up. If such a thing, if the people who made this see it, I feel like he's straight up inspired by Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Just some giant, wealthy child man who has naught to do but just walk around, steal Pee-wee's bike, and just order double chickens.
He seems nicer than Francis, to be fair.
This is true.
Does Francis take his convenience store out to a fountain at night just to enjoy the scenery while you shove your face full of rice?
Yeah.
Just sitting there hoping the Friends opening credits breaks out while you're just... I mean, I gotta say, and look, I'm a guy who enjoys food. I am shaped like a man who enjoys food, for sure. And I gotta say, that looked like a real nice night out. Like, I'm just gonna buy half of a convenience store and double chickens, and then just look like it was a nice, cool night. Mm-hmm. And just shove fucking food in my mouth while watching water dance. That looked dope as hell. Best life. Hashtag best life, Francis.
Good going. Unfortunately, it is not to be. Because the yellow greed shows up and is like, you know what you need? You need a coin in your forehead. And we're all like, oh, okay, here comes the yummy. But no, unfortunately, this is not
the CGI effect bandages wrap the man up and then adhere to his skin.
Oh, it's so gross.
It's really nasty.
Really disgusting.
Super gross.
Is it because if you put the coin in the back of the head, the yummy drops out of your tummy, but if you put the coin in the front of the head, then you become a crazy parasite man?
I think it's some user settings.
Yeah, I think it's depending on the greed who's doing it. They have different styles. Is what I'm getting from it. not remembering from the first time I watched it for sure. But I think it's greed dependent.
Yeah. So we wake up the next morning. There's a food truck sitting there. Its driver's all like, "Why is the back door open?"
Checking on my sausages.
Our friend.
that is a reference to a deleted scene from the Simpsons movie. Everybody, deep cut.
And when we say food truck, this isn't a food truck as I understand, like, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to get a burrito. Like, this seemed to be an industrial, like, basically Francis is committing the equivalent of an armored car robbery. He has opened up an industrial, like, food truck, was going to take food to a restaurant or something, and he's just going, like, just literally just, like, making piggy noises and going, blah, 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 blah. The makeup is very cool, and I love that the bandages look like a hand wrapped around his throat. Little again, just little weird bits of art direction here and there that kind of remind you, like, oh, people with brains actually made this, who like care a little bit about art. And I know I say this every week, but it's so different from the TV that I grew up with, but it's also so different within the confines of an episode that also has like slide whistle sound effects. Mm-hmm. It's just, man, it's a mixed bag.
And a super strong large man that can just throw a man into a bunch of cardboard boxes.
That guy's probably alive.
For now.
Ank's metal sense is tingling again. So
smells metals.
He and AG show up, and AG's like, how come this guy doesn't look like a yummy? And Ank's like, oh, he's a parasite type. That's just how they roll.
And we learn our word of the week, which is kisei, which is parasite.
Is it kisei?
We got our option
of kiseji?
We got options like kisei-chu or kisei-mono, but kisei is kind of the root there for parasite.
I'm used to kiseji from the Parasite manga.
Sorry.
Ank, as usual, wants to fatten the guy up so that he has more medals, and AG's having none of it, and transforms and tries to fight him, but he can't because he's human, and he feels bad about beating him up.
Right, and Ank's just like,
cut him open, dude. Like, come on, murder.
Easy peasy.
It's my answer to everything.
The dude's like, I can breathe fire now.
It's not even fire. It's like these weird, like, energy balls that are like sort of
Mario
spiky.
Plumber style energy balls.
From his mouth.
He has a man wearing overalls. He vomits fireballs. Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh. Yep. I just assumed that it was a ripping case of acid reflux.
Oh yeah.
Like we need to get this dude some Tums and maybe just like, a bromo seltzer or something. Let him sit down, let it work it out of his system. My favorite line from this episode, and again, perhaps it is lost in translation as I am a scrub who barely speaks English, so I am beholden only to the subtitles. Hey, get out of that person. Which is just I had to pause and sort of walk around the room because that's just a great thing to shout. I'm going to try and figure out a way to work that into conversation from here in. I'm not sure how.
Do you do a lot of exorcisms?
Yeah, have you been around a lot of demonic possession? Because that's commonplace, man, in English.
I've been looking for a hobby. I could get into that, I suppose. Hey, but I also like how casual it is. Like, oh, hey, dude, you're stepping on my foot or something. It's like, hey, enough with being in that person. Yeah, come on.
So then AG kind of gets his butt kicked, and Ankh steps in and just like grabs the guy by like the face, basically. And AG's like, quit it. And Ankh's like, I am in charge. I will do what I want.
Yeah.
And then some more mouth blasts and overall guy ghosts on them.
Disappears in a puff of smoke.
That's what smoke is for. It allows anybody to escape from anything.
I just don't see this guy being particularly fast on his feet. But I guess, maybe he called an Uber real quick or something.
Wait, is this the fight where AG starts fighting and Ankh just like literally does like a vertical leap out of the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I forgot to put that in my notes, but I was like, he just like jumped off screen. Like straight
now
up.
I know how he got on the roof.
Yep.
He's boingy. The thing about Tiggers is that they bounce. Yeah, he's just like, my name's Paul, and this is between y'all. I'm just gonna watch this from a vantage point. But Francis ghosts. But don't worry, we got Shintaro, we got He Vision and Jack. shows up on his motorcycle, turns it into a vending machine.
And AG's like, oh, right, I can use a motorcycle. And he transforms it into a motorcycle. And the dude's like, no, use the hawk cans, you idiot.
And Uncle's like, don't waste medals, you jerk. And he's like, I want my medal back. This is bullshit. And biker guy's like, nope. Once you paid your money, it's ours.
Couldn't Shintaro have just shown up on his motorcycle with a single can of hawk?
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, but
that's gotta have a cup holder on it somewhere, right?
Oh, he probably has like a whole stash in his pocket. He just ain't sharing.
Kogami gotta get those medals, yo.
Yeah, so true. He does, yo.
He needs fat stacks of medals.
He folds it back up. Nobody can get the coin back. The coin is gone forever. The medal's gone forever. He opens up a frosty can of Murder Hawk and tells it to go find that parasite, Francis, Mr. Overall's creosote.
Meanwhile, Ankh and Goto are having a dick measuring contest.
It's like, you've been asleep for 800 years, so shut up.
I've got a gun. Now what you gonna do, hand?
I'm gonna fly off of this guy's body, and then you're just gonna murder a dude who's already basically dead. Like, again, this is another example of poor negotiation. This is not... No, you know what this world needs? Mediators. We just need a couple of people who are just even-handed and can listen to both sides. Because I don't understand, unless it's like, and you two would know better than I, who knows nothing. Is this like, does he have like a special greed killing gun or something? Does that just look like
probably not?
It's just a gun.
It looks like a regular gun. But I mean,
is,
they do have
rare and badass in Japan.
That's true. They do have AG the negotiator who's like, you guys, stop it.
And he gets in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AG is super good at getting in the way.
So Goto's like, peace. Takes off. And Ankh's like, I'm going to learn about human evolution from my memories. And he's like, oh, airplanes and computers and stuff. I get it.
Meanwhile, at Kogami...
Satonaka has the best frickin' nails. Oh my god, they are so sweet. He's got little stripes on them. So good.
She's hella bad at making coin stacks.
True.
Look, you can't... Well, maybe she didn't want to fuck up her Manny. Like, maybe she just had it done and she didn't, like, she wants to stack coins, but she doesn't, they're just sweet ass
she's
nails.
only doing it for the symbolism because Kogami's talking about balance that they've achieved. How Oz is involved and he has a greed helper and they're making so many coins now. All these cell metals are coming to them. And
it looks like he's drinking a super big cup of coffee, but it turns out it's a flour sifter because he's making another cake, which I'm not going to count for Cake Watch because you never see the cake.
It is a cake in potentia.
Yeah.
But I like where the scene cuts because it's as if the editor, like, it was like 8:59 and then it was 9 p.m. It was like, I'm done for the day. Bye. Cut. It was just like, who am I making this cake for? I don't know. Some manager. The end. Like, he just didn't care. He just, let's make sure all right. Well, we have to answer the dramatic question of the scene, which is, who is he making a cake for? Some manager.
Yeah.
We're out.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's a wrap on our cake making friend for the episode, who didn't really do anything this week. I was kind of sad. I kind of wanted a little more time with him, and I wanted him to say cooler stuff.
He did reveal that the ride vendor machines have cameras all on them, and he was watching everything that happens.
Yeah, not creepy at all.
No, there's nothing weird about that.
Ankh moseys on up to Dead Detective's house, and Eiji's like, you have a home? And he's like, yeah, it's this guy's house. And Eiji's like, I'm not cool with this. This is creepy.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop him.
Ankh's like, I'm going to use the internet and research all this stuff, because this is the evolved way to do things. Then Creosote shows up at Couscousier and eats it. Cookie Monster style.
And that's genuinely scary. He, like, forces his way in.
Oh, yeah.
And he shouts, food, or at least the subtitle is like, food, which is just fantastic.
And Couscousier is closed because he is not feeling well. So she just closed up shop.
Yeah.
Which is sweet. Hina seems more or less fine.
Yeah.
Probably could open back up. I don't know.
And while the man is in the kitchen, the hawk can spots him through a tiny window.
Yes. Meanwhile, Ankh finds an iPhone 4.
Which I guess is like, we're supposed to believe like, oh, this is like a thing he was hiding from his sister, unless there's,
iPhones are very expensive in Japan, especially back then. They were uncommon.
Oh, okay.
It actually would have been a big deal. They seem more common now because I see them all over TV, but back at like iPhone 4 time, it actually would have been like a big, like, not that it's not a big expense in North America, but it would have been a big luxury item.
Oh, thank you for clearing that up, because I was like, this doesn't make a lick of sense. Like, why would this be some deep, dark secret dividing siblings that like, oh, hey, I bought a phone? But that makes a lot more sense.
Touchscreen phones, like iPhone style phones, were pretty uncommon in Japan for a long time, partly because like flip phones with just the keypad, the way the Japanese language system works, they're very easy to text rapidly on. So they weren't really that into like the other style of keyboard, just because they were.
And things like your email account would be tied to your carrier. Stuff
like
that. There's like a
whole
infrastructure.
Oh man.
Different.
And the internet did not explode as fast in Japan either. It was a lot slower to get going.
Yeah, but there was also
people were using cell phones a lot more.
Walled gardens.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Like, you'd think Japan, being like this like high-tech nation, would have been all over this stuff, and they were, but in this really weird Japanese way.
That is exactly what I was thinking. And that's but now actually that you say that, it makes sense, because we're already as a culture on the iteration of the iPhone 4, but there were I guess everybody does have flip phones on this show.
Yes.
And I found myself thinking like, that's a little late for flip phones, but that makes sense.
The Sentai Henshin devices were flip phones for quite a while before they finally switched to touchscreen Henshin devices. I'm not even joking. This is super true.
Oh, I wouldn't think you would joke about such a serious matter, Adam.
So many flip phone Henshin devices. So many.
We get a quick shot of our dear hobo friend. He sees a shrine to dead detective and his sister's parents.
Yep.
Which is foreshadowing? Question mark.
Probably? No, the shrine means they're dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and it means that he realizes the connection the sister has to the brother. It's like,
because they're all they have.
The only surviving family. Yes.
Right. Yeah, and he feels bad.
Yes, because he can relate to that, because he had a younger sister blow up somewhere at some point in time.
It wasn't his younger sister. It was just a random kid in a war-torn nation.
Wait, really?
Yes.
That wasn't...
Yeah.
Not related.
Not related at all.
That was completely my assumption. There's like, oh no, I could have saved my sister, but she died on a National Explosion Day or whatever was happening.
No, this is part of his world travels, right?
Got it.
And I think it's part of why he came back to Japan, because he was sad.
Fascinating. Here was the headcanon I had come up with for it. I thought that was his sister or a relative who died on National Explosion Day or whatever, and that made him so sad that he could not save her, that he just confined himself to walk the earth.
Oh. I mean, that's good too.
Yeah. But it's not right, but that's
okay. No. But I mean, you only have 3 episodes worth of information to base that on. This is true. So
this is true. You all have thousands. All right, Murderhawk comes back and taps on the window. Is like, hey guys, I found Mr. Overall's creosote, Francis. This way, chirp caw, murder. And so they chase him.
Couscous. They've decided to phone the police finally. After the man has eaten the entire kitchen.
Yeah. And starts throwing stuff at them.
And she picks up a giant thing because, of course, we have to remember she is super strong. The police do not show up. And my theory on that is because I have to assume 90% of the police are now dead. Like, over the course of the last 3 episodes, and between everything that's happened, there's just a paucity of cops in wherever they are.
They'll make more.
Maybe they're like, weird fat guy eating everything. That sounds dangerous. There's only 5 of us left. We better not.
They roll a can through. They push the door open, roll a can in, and this was very curious behavior on our rotund overalled friend. That he was like standing in a place where he was eating all of the food, and there seemed to be just an unlimited amount of food. But then a can rolls in, and he's like, "Can food." different food, and like chases it out.
Oh,
of the
he wholly
restaurant.
expects that to be a can of soda of some kind.
Oh yeah, or something.
I mean,
He's
his
like,
throat
I'm
was
gonna
a
follow
little
this
dry.
food to more food,
Yeah.
possibly.
I mean, maybe it could be soup. It could be a can of soup. That's true.
Yeah. And then Hina catches a glimpse of Ankh as the door closes, because she'd been talking to manager lady about this before, and manager lady was like, maybe it's a coincidence and it's not your brother.
So Creosote gets his hand on a can, pops it open, turns into an octopus, sprays him in the face with ink.
Ah, my
That old
face,
story.
my beautiful face.
My beautiful pudgy food stained face. It's as
Now
if
it's ink stained too. No.
Yeah, I feel like the makers of this week's like David Cronenberg snuck in and decided to direct it. Like they were just, it was like, how much gross shit can we have? Let's definitely have an overweight baby man in overalls and a big boy shirt, fucking just creaming food all over his face. But then you know what we need? Some sticky black goop.
And then we need a can hawk to like hold up some kind of like strip of meat for him.
Some
like,
steamy
want
meat.
meat. Oh. So AG grabs him and he's like trying to get the meat, and the yummy starts coming out of his chest trying to get the meat. But Ankh fucks everything up because he still wants to fatten the guy up more. And then he gives him a fish, which he starts like just going to town on. Ugh.
Yeah, and you know what he should have done is taught him how to fish, because then he would have eaten for a lifetime.
And AG's
God
all
damn
like,
it.
this dude's gonna explode. We have to do something. Which
And Ankh,
it seems like is actually credible.
yeah, and Ankh's just like, nah, fuck him, he's fat. Like, forgive my language, everybody, but that's basically the subtext of it. He was like, look, he's gonna do this anyways. You think this is because he's had a coin put in his head and there's a monster in him? No. Fuck him. Fuck off. You know why fat people are fat? Because they just love eating food. Yum, 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 yum. I'm mad at a lot of this episode, and
Yes.
I'm not doing a good job of hiding it, but
So AG being AG, he's like, oh, fine, I'm gonna fight him anyhow. And of course it does not go very well.
Because he's not super strong.
No. And Ankh's like, you're gonna die before this guy dies. And AG's like, we have to save people. It's not okay to let anybody, die. And then he flashes back to sad, blown up child.
Yep.
And then the yummy pops out anyway.
Thank God.
The dude passes out. And thank goodness the yummy can evolve.
It pops out, and then it turns into what I have described as a gross fat cat, which does not do it justice because it also has boils and hair, and it's the
like
worst.
Six-armed, warty fat cat.
I don't even know. Like, words fail me, and it's got like jewels in its fat, and I don't know, guys.
I hate it. I hate it so much. It's like dear listener, imagine if like Doraemon got Akira'd.
Yeah.
Yes. Or like Resident Evil, possibly.
It's so bad.
Or both.
It is. I will say this. It's a beautiful costume. Like they sweat blood to make that thing, because like I feel like, and certainly you two watch more shit like this than I do, but like for the most part you can just sort of stare at a person in a foam rubber outfit and just be like, it's just a dude in a foam rubber outfit. This was genuinely disquieting and awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like, oh my God, why?
Yeah. So AG finally gets to Henshin to fight this monstrosity, and he uses his sword, and it just goes boing, and he uses his claws, and they go boing. So he switches to kicks, which work because he switched from slashing damage, which it is strong against, to bludgeoning, which it is weak against.
He rolls a natural
Which
20.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
No, nothing makes any sense at all.
I'm just like, it's Persona style elemental weaknesses here.
Yes.
You found the right one.
He gets little magic gazelle legs or whatever the fuck.
Grasshopper legs. Yep. Yeah.
Or I believe they're magic gazelle. No, they're grasshopper legs.
They're totally. It's his bottom half. It's the ba.
And then just kicks it. And then is going to give one more real good kick. And then, oh no, there's concrete everywhere.
Pillars
in
for some
in the sky.
reason.
4 concrete pilings just flying in the air.
And I mean, to his credit, AG goes right through them like they were like butter.
Yeah, and comes out undamaged.
But he doesn't manage to land his final kick. And Uncle's all like, aha, somebody protected it. And then Yellow Greed shows up, and his name is Kazari.
Yes.
And he's all like, I'm gonna get you.
End of episode.
End of episode.
And
Yeah.
not my favorite. Not my favorite, y'all.
Fair.
It's not my favorite episode. It felt a little all over the place. It felt a little, I don't know. What'd you all think?
I really appreciate it still moving the plot forward. It's like
Mhm.
giving us more backstory about all of the characters. It's kind of revealed the Greed's impulses and another aspect of how they work, and connected our protagonist with Couscous the Cafe.
Yep.
Oh, that's true.
Yep.
That's true. It did. I mean, but I feel like to say a half hour of episodic television moved the plot forward. That's the least you expect of it.
Oh boy.
You don't. No?
Man.
Oh,
Do I have a show you shouldn't watch?
Is it Super Milk Chan? Like what? No, I mean, I understand that they're different, but it's just like, yes, it did that. It moved the plot forward, but I don't think it did any. I don't know. You know what? That cat grossed me out, and Mr. Overalls grossed me out, and I don't know. It broke me a little, but in a good way.
Okay. I mean, I don't think I had any like super strong feeling one way or the other. It was a very, very acceptable episode of O's. We got to see all my favorites. Got to see Satonaka's cool nails. I feel good about it.
Oh, those were great nails. You're right. You know what? I take it back just based on her nails alone.
Satonaka's like my favorite character.
I will say this: in the long shot of Satonaka, I was like, "Oh, what a boring outfit," and then I was like, "Oh, because it's all about the nails this week."
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Corey, thoughts on this week's episode?
I agree mostly with the cat stuff. Like, that is a really, really gross monster that they're fighting.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's no excuse for that.
And it is destroyed or it's not destroyed.
It's still around.
Yep. It's still around. Mr. Overalls is still around because we see him in scenes from next week's episode.
Yeah, you can more or less in this show expect the monster of the week to last 2 episodes, I think. For the most part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's mostly going to be 2 episode arcs. That's typically what this era of Kamen Rider does. But I thought it ticked along pretty fast. I wasn't watching the clock or anything. It was good. I like, and I mean the cat's gross, but I kind of like the like you said, they put a lot of work into it. Like, it's intentionally like disgusting, and they did a good job of it.
You're right. You know what?
It's also differently disgusting than I would expect from a glutton.
Yeah,
episode.
It's not a pig for one thing.
This is true. You know what? Hey, this episode of Kamen Rider Triple O, I take it back. I'm sorry. I was being judgy, but you have to be nicer to fat people because we're just like everybody else. We put on our overalls one leg at a time. We buy hundreds of bags of chicken and go sit in front of a fountain, and that's all we want to do. Come on.
We have trouble tying our shoes because our fat guts get in the way when we're bending over, and we almost pass out.
That's not true. That part's not true. Don't listen.
That happens to me.
Thank you all for listening. I'm Coriander Dickinson. You can find me on Twitter at Absolar.
I'm Josh A. Kagan. You can find me at Josh A. Kagan on the Instagrams.
I'm Adam Wasserman. You can find me on Twitter at goldsarcasmium and on Mastodon at goldsarcasmium.octodon.social.
Rolls right
not
off the tongue.
Mastodon.social, which I said last time, which was wrong. Not that it really matters because it's pretty much the same content anyway, but fill your boots.
Stay ghosty.
I'm also on Instagram at goldsarcasmium if you care. I don't even know if I'm posting anything there. I'm everywhere.
I am the night.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right,
bye.
goodbye.
Bye.